Hello and welcome to a new installment of Premier Perspective. Today we are doing a post-match reaction to the Manchester City and Manchester United game that just happened. Today we are gladly joined by Cameron, who is a
Woo!
coach, a former teammate of mine, and a Manchester United fan. As you guys know, me and Ryan are City fans, so we're gonna get a nice bit of perspectives in the game today. A 0-0, a 0-0 draw today. So
Both sides
yeah,
are happy, but
we'll see. We'll see how this video goes.
It's
So
gonna be a
Cameron,
good
if
one.
you want to just give a little introduction to yourself as you're new to our channel.
So first of all, thank you guys for having me on this channel. Huge fan already because I live and breathe soccer. But for those of you who do not know me, I'm Coach Cameron. I've had a interesting career so far at such a young age, so I'm blessed to be involved in the sport, even though I really can't play it so much anymore because of this bum right knee. So I've did a lot of work with Valencia Soccer Academy. Then I moved on to Liverpool FC Academy. I did some work with FC Copa, Cedar Stars, things like that, a little bit of training here and there. And now I'm at the Bulldogs right now. So I'm coaching the 04 and 05 team. And I also have my own one-on-one coaching company, Nonstop Grind. Oh, yeah, baby. That's it. So if you
Nice
need
bit of
any
self
training,
promo.
let me know. Let me know. A little bit of self promo. And I'm also heard I'm the best coach ever.
no for
No
sure.
no hints off of there. I just been told. So happy to be on here.
Thank you for coming on. We definitely appreciate having you here.
Absolutely, man.
Now we're gonna get a little bit into this game that just happened. Manchester City and Manchester United just finished off a 0-0 goalless draw. Now, Cameron, what is
Thriller.
your first reaction to this game?
Well, I mean, to the naked eye, it has to be boring for people when they're watching it and they don't like debrief games like we do. Um, it was a really, really boring game. You know, obviously scoreless. People want, goals in soccer. They want excitement. So, the people who weren't really looking into it so much, it's a boring game. No goals. They both had chances. Man City had a couple chances. Man U had a couple chances. But then again, at the end of the day, it ends 0-0. Again, I thought tactical wise from both managers, it was interesting to see Man U finally connecting, communicating well in the back. We didn't concede, which to me is crazy because we've conceded in our last 5 matches. So again, it's a huge turnaround for Man U. Is it a start to something wonderful? I don't think so yet. But today proved a lot of good things defensively more so than attacking wise. But attacking wise for both teams, I thought it was absolutely shambolic. You have to score. You get paid millions. You practice this. You have to be fluid, and you have to capitalize in the final third.
And like you said, that just United had their chances to go forward. City had their chances to go forward. The stats were United with 11 shots, 2 on target. City with 9 shots, 2 on target. You got to be more clinical there. Like you said, they're getting paid millions to do this.
Yeah.
You're getting paid the big bucks to put it in the back of the net, and there was just no drive to go forward. Both teams, especially City, was struggling to score goals. You got to
I've
look.
never seen it's crazy. I mean, looking at their previous 5 games, I mean, you look at Olympiacos, they won 1-0. Burnley, I mean, it's Burnley. Again, not taking away from Burnley, but really, you could put five. I think Woolwich High School could put 5 past the side there.
Right.
So again, Burnley is shambolic. FC Porto, it ends in a draw. Fulham, and then you have I'm going to butcher this name, isn't it? Marciale. They win 3-0. So again, they have been on a good streak. However, I'm shocked. I think Pep Guardiola sometimes overcomplicates big games. It's weird.
100%.
I don't get it. I don't get it. It looked Man U looked more like Man City and the old Man City. They were combining well. I thought the way they started out, they played with a 4-1-2-1-2, and that ended up actually being almost like a 4-3-3 at some times. Bruno Fernandes combined well with Pogba, sometimes with Rashford, and Scott as well played really really well. Um, Greenwood at times he was doing well on the wing, but then I don't think he could unlock City's defense. So they did well in that aspect. But again, Man City, I don't get it. I don't get it. Just stick to the basics, stick to what you know. I don't know why they have to change their game plan up. It almost looked like they were sitting back a little bit more and trying to counter against Man U. Why?
Yeah, I
In the
don't get it
last
either.
5 games. So
You're not
again,
going to
try
counter
to
against a
attack
team.
them, try to beat them at heart, especially when we got Harry Maguire and Lindelof. For God's sakes, like attack them.
Yeah, I personally don't get it at all. The issue, two things that I've seen so far with City. One, about this game specifically, I don't know if it's that about United's defense. I don't know if it was necessarily that United play well defensively, or is that if City was just poor going forward. And I think that has a lot to do with it. And then the other thing, for me at least, like what I wanted to see out of this game, I was really looking forward to seeing the creative chances that both Bruno and De Bruyne were going to create. And in my opinion, I feel like they were both very, very
Yeah.
average today. I thought De Bruyne was, I wouldn't say lost, but I feel like he wasn't doing much. And I don't know if that has to
Was
do
kind
with
of
who's in
lost.
front of him. And then for me, Bruno, as much as I think that Bruno's a great player, the problem that I usually see with him is that I feel like a lot of the times he loses the ball too much.
Yeah.
And
Well, at least
that's,
today at least for sure.
yeah, I
But
saw that a lot today. Somewhat like, some poor passes, some unnecessary dribble moves, but
yep,
that's what I guess what I thought was most annoying about the game was that that's what I was really looking forward to, with how great De Bruyne has been and how great Bruno has been. I was looking forward to see who was going to be the main man that stepped up and basically led their side to a victory, and I feel like neither of them did it.
I respect them both. I mean, everybody wants to compare them. I have my own sheets about who's better. I don't really want to argue about it though. To be honest with you, they're both fantastic. Can you say this season Bruno has been better than De Bruyne? Yes, you can argue it. But then again, I thought for sure they would step up. I thought for sure they would step up. And today I saw De Bruyne. I think you're right. I think he was a little bit off. I don't know whether. I mean, they have a lot of things going on. The traveling, the amount of games, things like that. But then again, you have to stay focused. You have to stay. I use consistent. You got to be consistent. And for me, they kind of fell off today. I don't know what happened, but they fell off and they weren't taking risks. So again, like I feel like everybody was playing a little bit very, very scared. They wanted to see like, oh, I don't want to give up the 3 points. So I think they both actually are pretty happy with grabbing a point each today. So again, I'm fortunate to see because I will want to see somebody with the courage to try something risky. Both managers, the subs they made, I don't get them. Subbing on Man City, subbing on Torres, decent idea, but it should have been earlier. Mahrez, in my opinion, wasn't great out wide today either.
So poor,
No.
And
so poor.
Sterling had a
Had
couple opportunities; he did well, but I did not see the Man City that you saw in 17, 18. So again, it's a little poor from both teams.
I have such a big issue with the way that City play their wingers, and I feel like with Mahrez, even when he plays like what someone would consider well and score goals, I feel like he constantly slows down play. He
Yeah,
thinks too
exactly.
much when he plays, and that's what annoys me about him. I'd much rather have Torres in the game than him. I'd much rather have Foden in the game than him. I don't understand how in a game that lacked pace, that
Yep.
lacked movement, that you don't at least bring on Foden for 15 minutes.
He was
15
eyeing him up.
minutes.
He was
Yeah, and
eyeing
I
him up.
don't understand how he doesn't even get brought into the game at all,
no.
Yeah.
or bringing in Bernardo. I know Bernardo hasn't been as well as he was in past seasons. But if you're gonna at least for 15 minutes, at that point in the game,
Gotta try it. It's
yeah,
like you just gotta go.
I think they were both, honestly, I think at the end of the day, they were both scared. They were both scared because they are in the hot seat. Man U is now in 7th, Man City is now in 8th. Is that good? No, because Man City has been spending millions upon millions, for players. So Pep is in the hot seat no matter what the contract says. I know he signed a new contract, but then again, we've seen it time and time again. Us coaches, us managers, we don't have a lot of time. So even if you are under contract, you're not safe. So they can sack you whenever they feel, you're not stepping up. And Mr. Sheik is probably looking at this game and he's saying, hey, you're spending all my money. What's going on? Like, what are you producing for me? And being in 8th place is not it. And then also, Man U, we have to step up. We have to step up. I thought for sure, by the way we were playing better than City today. Overall, we played better than City. However, in the final third, I wanted to poke my freaking eyes out because Rashford, relocate the GPS there, mate. Like, what's going on that you can't score? Greenwood, he looked like a shy little boy. He was lost. Out of all things, I thought Paul Pogba did quite well. I thought Maguire did quite well. So defensively, we were really, really on top. But again, that final third, it really looks bad for both teams.
it really does. I think in terms of United, I thought Rashford was very poor today.
Yeah.
He seems really unmotivated. Like nothing. What I always liked about Rashford and his play is the energy that he brings to the front line. And I felt like today he just didn't have that. I felt like Greenwood was just there on the field.
Yeah.
And I feel like I get that a lot from him in recent games.
You're in headlights.
And to speak about Pogba, I feel like Pogba to this day still gets a crazy amount of unnecessary hate. I
Yeah.
thought that he played well in their last Premier League game. I felt like he should have started against Leipzig, but that's a whole nother
Yep.
conversation about how United played in that game.
Again,
And I
that's
thought
still
that,
the manager.
yeah, and I thought that he was well. And I think that has to do with the manager.
Yeah.
And when we're talking about United, I feel like it's far past time for them to get a new manager. And in terms of managerial style for City, um, maybe we're looking at this is the last year of Pep. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like now with the Premier League, I feel like Pep and whether he stays or not has nothing to do with Premier League and more to do with European performance. And if City are able to finally do something in the Champions League, then I think Pep will stay. But if not, then I think it's looking like maybe it'll be time for something new. Now, I really like Pep as a manager, but I feel like how you said before, that a lot of times in big games he thinks too much.
Yep.
He thinks way too much. And against United, for me, a team who's not been great, I felt like City should have taken advantage and pounced on them. And with how well we've been defensively this year, I feel like you could have taken the risk of pushing forward more and relying on a back four that's been pretty sturdy this year. Where I'm looking at the table right now, even though we're in 8th place, we are tied for the second best defense. We've allowed 11 goals in 11 games, which is not something that you really see from a City team. So I feel like this game we should have taken the chance of pushing more forward for a United team that is questionable in what they're doing and take advantage of that and win this game. But I felt like Pep was a bit scared to do that.
Yeah, I think he's, whether people like it or not, and I know you guys are Man City fans. And look, do I like Man City? No, yeah, but I'm a Barca fan at heart. So what Pep did for us, I love the guy, but again, he always overcomplicates. I remember watching the Amazon Prime documentary, and I forgot the player, but he was in the dressing room. Pep Guardiola was in the dressing room, kind of giving his halftime talk. And as usual, it's very complicated. he talks like in almost like in code sometimes. I mean, with the way he sets up and the sections, because he splits the field up in like sections. I
Yeah.
believe it's like 26 sections around there. And he wants every player to stay disciplined in those sections. And then I can't remember for the life of me the player. I'm gonna try to get back to it and see if I can remember. But the guy he's like, just get back to the basics of football. Like, get back to the basics. And he was telling Pep Guardiola, he was like, we don't need all this like craziness. We just need to get back to the basics. And sometimes that's what you need. You don't need all this elaborate, movement here, movement there. Just be creative. Be creative. Try to move and overlap and underlap. The simple things can work, especially with a back line that has conceded in the past 5 games. It's a little disappointing. And again, it kind of falls short for Man City.
Yeah, so I watched that documentary too, and I didn't get through the whole thing, but the player was Fabian Delph that he
Yes.
was speaking to in the locker room, and there you could tell in the speech before that, preceding his Delph kind of telling him, we don't need all this. Um, you could tell there was a bit of what he was saying, what Guardiola was saying, it was coming from his head.
Yep.
It wasn't as much of a teaching way. All
No,
right.
but he's right though. He's absolutely right. Sometimes, again, and we see it from time and time again. That's why he leaves. That's why he leaves. For Barcelona, after 3 stressful seasons, the players just don't agree with him after a while. He sparks brilliance, but then again, he's got to leave because otherwise the players are going to hate him. Because some of the stuff he does is a little bit too
Yeah.
vocal, and it's hard to follow. It really is hard to follow. So sometimes, going back to the basics and doing the basics well is really all you need. And I didn't see it from the wingers. I didn't see it, going forward from Man City. And especially when they're in attack, they almost look like a 2-4-3-1. Sometimes they go into like a 2-2-5-1. So again, they throw a lot of numbers up. It's just that they really couldn't connect and find the net. So it was tough.
Yeah, and I think you're totally right there with the terms of motivation. I feel like I would say that plays more of a factor than exactly anything else, because I feel like the system that Pep puts in play, it is designed to work, and I think it has more to do with whether the players have the motivation to follow the system
Yeah.
and use it at its best. Because in as we saw throughout the 2 years that City went back-to-back champions, I feel like the motivation was there the most. There was constant energy on the field. And that's what made City look so beautiful in the way that they played.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like that's what's lacking right now. And I feel like unless Pep is able to bring that desire back in them, then it's going to be a tough season for them.
It's
But
it's gonna be a long road ahead if he doesn't.
yeah, for sure. I think that City and United both have a lot of work to do. I think more pressures on City, considering the money that they've spent and their lack of European success in their knockout rounds. But I think that both teams are actually capable of turning the season around and working in a better direction.
Yeah.
Now, whether it will happen sooner rather than later is yet to be seen, but I think that there's a lot to be done. There's a lot of potential in what is left of the season.
I mean, personally, for Man U, I don't think it's a case of what I call a Titanic scenario. The iceberg has not hit us yet. There are difficulties, but then again, as a coach, I really want to back Ole, and I think he needs to kind of get Paul Pogba on board, because that's what we saw with Jose Mourinho. He couldn't get Paul Pogba on board, and I think that's where things kind of twisted for the worse for him. As we can see now, I've said it time and time again. Jose is a fantastic, fantastic manager.
So good.
Anybody who argues otherwise is delusional. Delusional. He's a fantastic manager, and now we have this guy, and he's brilliant. I just think that the man managing skills needs to be better. I think tactically we set up very, very well today. Defensive wise was pretty good. I just think he needs to get players on board. He really does. Paul Pogba, he needs to get on board. Greenwood, he needs to build up his confidence. Lindelof and Maguire, I thought their confidence was great, but they need to be consistent. So again, you kind of just have to sit them down, like Jose did in his documentary himself. He sat down Harry Kane. And he was like, "Dude, I'm going to make you a beast." Sit these guys down and tell them, like, put your trust in a guy like Paul Pogba. Put your trust in a guy like Rashford. Put your trust in Bruno Fernandes. Put your trust in Scott, Fred, Lindelof, the whole freaking lineup, right? Sit them down and say, "Hey, look, I'm going to make you guys going from here and the inconsistent and the ups and downs to being top." And I think there's going to be a change. And if there's not a change, then take them out. That's all you have to do. But the man management skills has to be there. Just motivate these guys, because sometimes it looks like they don't want to be there. And then there's a lot of rumors with Pogba as well. But the guy can create. I mean, in the past 8 matches, he has 1 goal, 0 assists, so it's tough. But the chances he created about 2 to 3 chances in those 8 games. And key passes, he created 2. So again, he does something. But he needs to be pushed. He needs to be pushed. And Greenwood is young. That's another kid where you have to just boost up his confidence. You have to make him feel like he is the best player in the world, and he'll put wonders for you. But it's not there yet. So I'm hoping he's listening to this, because he could take Man U to the top after that advice.
Yeah, 100%. I think what is going to determine the rest of the season is what the managers do.
Yep.
Despite somewhat of, like how you described it in the beginning, somewhat of a boring game, I think that as the season progresses and they meet again in March, I believe it's March, I think that the second game will definitely be a way better game. There will probably be fans, so that will play a factor.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
So I think that yeah, for sure, that this next time that they meet will be better. I think that United season could go either the highest of highs or the lowest of lows. And I think City is the same thing for them. I think it's the same thing for Pep and for Ole. Yeah, so next week we are gonna be doing a match preview, or a match review actually, of Liverpool versus Tottenham.
Woo.
It's gonna be a great game. Great game.
Woo.
2 great managers.
Oh,
And
man.
we're looking forward to sharing our thoughts with you guys. And for anyone who tuned in, we want to say thank you for stopping by. We want to thank Cameron for coming on today. I
Love
think
y'all.
everyone should go check him out. If you want to, what's your Instagram exactly? I'm not sure. Yeah, it's like long. I don't know
I'm like,
the
it's so dang
parenthesis.
long.
Yeah,
I gotta fix that.
you gotta find some.
It's like official underscore Coach Cameron. I think I'm right, actually. Hold on a second. Yeah, I'm right. Yep, official underscore Coach Cameron.
Yeah, and
Oh,
check out.
we gotta find
And what's your other
version of
Instagram for your personal nonstop grind? What's the exact?
nonstop. So it's gonna be NON dot stop grind.
Yeah, so for anyone who's listening, go check out both of those pages. Cameron, I've seen everything that you've been doing recently. I think you have massive, 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 massive potential in anything that you do in the future. So we're definitely happy to here at Premier Perspectives to support you, and we hope to see you again soon on our show.
This is not the last time, like I told you guys before. So I'm happy to be here. I'm going to be here again. So thank you
Yeah,
guys.
thank you. And for anyone who listened, we appreciate it. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell your friends about us. So yeah, thank you guys. We'll see you guys soon.
All right, guys.